Good evening and welcome to the November 21st, 2024 meeting of the Town of Southampton Zoning Board of Appeals. This meeting is being held live and also via video conferencing in accordance with the Town Board's enactment of Local Law Number 14 of 2022. Our next meeting and those following also will be held in person here at Town Hall and will continue to allow for remote participation. So please keep checking the town's website for updates and any new information. If you wish to view tonight's live meeting only and not participate, please do not join the Zoom meeting and instead go to the town's website for viewing access. With that, I'd ask you to join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For those of you with us here tonight, in case of an emergency evacuation, please exit through the rear doors of this room to one of the staircases across the hall and continue downstairs and out through the main entrance. Do not attempt to use the elevators during an emergency evacuation. In case of a medical emergency, the automated external defibrillator and first aid kit are both located in the hallway on this floor opposite the elevators. Restrooms are across the hall from this room. We'll begin this meeting with public hearings. We have applicants, members of the public here with us live and also standing by via Zoom webinar, which is monitored by CTV. CTV will mute the speakers on Zoom until it's their time to give testimony before the board. Please be patient. If you find you're having difficulties accessing the hearing, visit the town clerk's meeting portal and click on the instructions link. Also, for those of you in this boardroom, please silence your cell phones and refrain from speaking to one another as it interferes with the recording of our proceedings. Tonight, board member Helen Burgess is participating via Zoom. A reminder that applicants, agents, and members of the public speaking other than attorneys will be sworn in, will state their address for the record, and will offer their testimony as it relates to the application before the board. In order to consider properly every application before us, individuals commenting on a particular application have a time limit of 3 minutes. Also, before handing in any submissions to the board tonight, please make sure the documents identify the ZBA application name and tax map number. The application name should also be written on your certified receipts. Unless otherwise stated at the end of an individual application hearing, all applications will remain open for written comments for all purposes until a set date. Those written comments can be addressed to members of the board and sent via email, mail, and or dropped off at Town Hall to the board secretary, Candace Cowell, in the building department. At this time, I'd like to take a motion to approve both the minutes of our November 7, 2024 meeting.
Motion approved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Mastonio?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Redmond?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye. Okay, John, would you take us through the agenda, please?
Okay. Turning to number 8 on the agenda, Parish Art Museum, 279 Montauk Highway, Watermill, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-133-1-16.7. We will re-advertise this application for January 2nd. Turning to number 11 on the agenda, application of 2297 Montauk LLC, 2297 Montauk LLC, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-86-1-3. I move to adjourn this the hearing on this application to January 16th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Ms. Mastonio?
Aye.
Mr. Redmond?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye.
Number 13 on the agenda, application of Brian Farrell, 11 Robbins Lane, North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-62-1-10. I move to adjourn this hearing to January 16th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Ms. Mastonio?
Aye.
Mr. Redmond?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye.
Number 14 on the agenda, 625, application of 625 Butter Lane Homestead LLC, Agricultural Reserve, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-51-1-17.7. I move to adjourn the hearing of this application to February 6th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
Number 15 on the agenda, application of Mark Smith and Heather Cole, 23 West Tiana Road, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-255-1-30. I move to adjourn the hearing of this application to February 20th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Number 16 on the agenda, application of John T. Montecalvo et al., 1129, 1089, and 1169 Spionk Riverhead Road, Remsenburg, Spionk, Suffolk County Tax Map numbers 900-301-2-6, 7, and 8. I move to adjourn the hearing on this application to March 6th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
On the decision calendar, the decision in the application of Alexander Vayman, Hampton Bays, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-260-4-39.3. I move to adjourn the decision on this application to February 20th.
Do we want to make this a final adjournment?
Yes, and I move to make this a final adjournment.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
The decision in the application of L'Etoile Realty Corp., 11 Helens Lane, Southampton, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-61-1-76. I move to adjourn the decision on this application to December 5th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Yes.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
And finally, the decision in the application of Kristen Sasulski, 12 Shady Rest Drive, Noyak, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-10-1-39. I move to adjourn the decision on this application to December 5th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Redpath.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye.
Okay, going back to the top of the agenda, number 1 on the agenda, application of 153 Herrick's LLC, 144 Riverside Avenue, Flanders, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-143-1-45. Can I call the second one as well?
Yep.
And I'm also calling application number 2 on the agenda, 153 Herrick's well, hold on. Let me go back. So on application number 1, applicant requests a determination that the subject parcel, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-143-1-45, is held in single and separate ownership from all adjacent parcels and thus entitled to relief pursuant to section 330-115D. Applicant also requests relief from 330-84D Pyramid Law for sky plane encroachments on the west of 920 cubic feet and east of 920 cubic feet for a total encroachment of 1,840 cubic feet for proposed one-family building on a non-conforming lot and any other relief necessary.
The board
I'm
has
also-
jurisdiction.
Okay. Also calling at this time, number 2 on the agenda, 153 Herrick's LLC, 140 Riverside Avenue, Flanders, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-143-1-46. Applicant requests a determination that the subject parcel, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-143-1-46, is held in single and separate ownership from all adjacent parcels and thus entitled to relief pursuant to section 330-115D. Applicant also requests relief from 330-84D Pyramid Law for skyplane encroachments on the west of 920 cubic feet and east of 920 cubic feet for a total encroachment of 1,840 cubic feet for a proposed one-family dwelling on a non-conforming lot and any other relief
The
necessary.
board has jurisdiction. Come on up, Monica. Thank you very
I'm
much.
like a caller at an auction.
You are.
That
That was good.
3-minute rule tonight.
Are you an attorney?
I'm not an attorney.
Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Monica Majewski, 30 Stoller Drive, East Clark, New York, 11942.
Okay, Monica, tell us about your application.
So those lots are adjacent to each other, and the question was they're single and separate. There was a mistake made on the title search. saying the single and separate, they actually in the same ownership, but they do have separate tax maps. And they were never used as one lot,
Both undeveloped.
yeah. So two addresses, two tax maps, so that was the question.
Two tax bills.
Yeah, two tax bills.
Was that submitted? I did not see the separate tax bills.
I have them.
Katie.
I'll take it.
Yeah, hand them to me.
Oh, yeah, actually, hand them to Candace. I'm sorry.
It's okay, we trying something new.
We're trying something different.
We weren't behaving.
Okay.
Okay.
I'll get copies for you, this, so
Okay.
one of each.
Okay, so we would get subsequently, we'll get some separate
I'll make
copies of these. Okay.
So we were proposing to develop a single family house on each of them. And if the single and separate gets approved, then we're asking for a cubic feet encroachment for both the houses, and we're able to meet the setbacks.
And how much of an encroachment?
920 on east and 920 on west, which is 1840 cubic feet.
For both.
Each lot.
Each.
For each lot.
Same house can be, same
Yes.
house can be built.
Mhm.
Bob, this is yours. Do you want to start any questions?
No, we have the tax map separate, right? I think the enforcement is minor.
Okay, I just want to, we go through, routine of asking certain
Yes.
questions, so let's, was there ever an intent to merge these properties, to your knowledge?
No.
Okay, are there cross uses for these properties? Since they're undeveloped, it's unlikely. Separate tax bills and no mortgages, right?
Yes, no.
Okay. Then my other question on the pyramid is ceiling heights. I didn't see ceiling heights. Did anybody see it? Did I just miss it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't look like those.
You gotta
Do you
come
wanna
up
come?
and be sworn in.
I have to swear you in
It
if
just
you're not
makes
an
it
attorney.
easier for the record, too.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Adrian Conyor, 87 Sandy Court, Riverhead, New York, 11901.
Are you the architect?
Or no.
Owner? Sorry.
I didn't know his name.
Adrian Conyor,
Adrian, just spell your last name for me.
K-O-N-I-O-R.
Say it again.
K-O-N-I-O-R.
K-I-N.
K-O-N.
K-O-N-I-O-R. Correct?
Okay, and you're the owner, okay.
It's not even-
So, can you point out where on the plans it shows what the height is on the ceilings?
I'm not for full setup, like, I don't have, full setup.
No, can we see the foot setup plan? Do you know?
Candace says that.
Can we-
That?
just the plan?
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, let's see if we can find it on the originals. We didn't have it in our packet. At least I wasn't able to find it.
I would assume it's
It's
eight.
gonna be kind of like a vaulted ceiling on the second floor.
Yeah.
It's gonna go like,
Here you
it's gonna
go.
be like 6 feet 8, and then it's gonna be vaulted. Kind of,
Mark, that's for what,
Full.
26, doesn't
Yeah, but
matter.
that's a.
Yeah,
We
they're the
want to
same.
know first
Yeah.
floor and
oh,
second.
first floor would be, I put like 6, 24 feet total, yeah.
Probably 8 and 8. The total is 24?
height.
Yeah, whole ridge height is 24.
Let's have him validate that.
Right here. 8, yeah. 8 seconds. 8 first.
Okay.
Yes, I mean, so, yeah, the first one's gonna be 8, the second one's gonna be 7 on the exterior walls, and then
But
it's
then
gonna
it
be
goes
all
up
this,
to-
yeah.
All right, but that's on the original plan so that we do have it actually in the file, so, okay. Okay, we just didn't have it in the packet.
So, I'm sorry, what was the answer to that? 8 and 7?
8 and 8, and it's vaulted because the height, the vaulted would be 8,
Okay.
right? Okay, are there any questions on the board for this application?
None.
No.
Is there
Hold on one
anyone?
second. I had mentioned this to Monica, and I just want to mention it to the board. I wanted them to give to the board an updated single and separate search, because when I went through it, it didn't have the current owner listed as, it should say current owner and it's you. I think it probably happened, they probably did the single and separate search prior to the deed being recorded, so I wanted it updated with the owner. I wanted lot 25 added to the single and separate search because it's supposed to get all of the adjacent lots.
Okay.
And I had said to Monica, if the person who does the search can just modify their findings, because it's been in common ownership for longer than what it says.
I think
Okay.
what they did, I'm sorry,
Go
they
ahead.
did the two lots as one, so it's separate from the other adjacent lots. So I think that what they need to do, two searches?
I mean, typically we take
Yeah.
two searches, but he doesn't necessarily
Okay.
have to do two, because the two lots, they each have one adjacent, and then they both
Mhm.
abut the
One
lot that's, whatever they call it, I can't remember what it's
So,
called.
okay, just want to understand, are they updating both of them, because there's a different search for each property, so are they
Yeah.
updating both to add lot 25 to each search?
Yes,
Okay.
All right. All right, so that you understand that you need to have an updated
Mhm.
title search,
single and separate search.
a single and separate search, I'm sorry, so that you would add lot 25.
Mhm.
Okay, so that can be done as a submission, but before we get there, let me just see if there's anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard. Please come up. You can come here. Are you an attorney?
No,
Okay, let me swear you in then. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
yes.
Please state your name and address.
Media Small, 148 Riverside Avenue. I bought that property on both sides.
Are you lot 25 or no?
No, it isn't lot 25. I'm on lot 15 and 16. I also own 12. They are talking about 13 and 14.
Okay, so you own on each,
Each side of the road.
adjacent.
Yes.
Okay, okay.
I'm sorry, and what was your name?
Media Small, NYDIASMALL.
Thank you.
Okay, Nydia, do you want to tell us what your comments are?
Well, to start off with, building on 50-foot lots, that was in the 40s. So like, there is one case across the street at 147, which was an absolute disaster when it passed the sewer order. But there are people in the area who have well water,
Or, and what?
well
Well
water,
water.
Uh-huh.
and that would be a problem. What happened at 147, they put a cesspool in the front, all the people moved in, they ended up with people in the shed, they had the cesspool going right down the street.
Okay.
It was a disaster.
Any house have to have Department of Health approval.
Right.
It had passed this board, that was back in 2004.
Okay, well, this is a new board,
Yeah, okay.
and just so that
But
you know.
now, at 135, there is a low peak. In fact, it's the lowest in the neighborhood. That would be across the 140 lot. At 139, it is again a low peak. I don't know where, it should be across. Now,
Across the street.
right,
Okay, it's not touching, it's not abutting, it's across the street,
Yes.
both of this, okay.
now, the Wellwood is at 135. At 139, I'm not sure about. It had a well at one point when they were trying to put in 147. But when 147 went through, there was a well at 148 and at 139 at the time, but it passed the board. And that's where the problem with the cesspool came in.
Okay, we don't deal with water issues, it goes to the water
Planning.
department, and that's not our jurisdiction.
Okay.
So,
And they'll
I
be
would,
required to put in a new IAS system.
Right.
So, and with the newest technology of septic.
and they have to
and also
receive
overcrowding.
approval for that, in
Yeah.
order to proceed, so.
Through the Suffolk County Health Department. Also, it sounds to me like you're talking about there was overcrowding at the house.
Oh,
Possibly.
that was beyond.
Right, and that's a code enforcement issue.
Yeah, well, we went
So-
to them
I
too.
know.
But that's
So,
not this
like,
application.
Yeah, that's
Right,
not this
that's not-
application.
This was another case,
yeah.
and you're
And
concerned
it
about
sounds like it was
that.
20 years ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
Okay.
was.
Yeah.
But it still is the exact same building type, and it's the only one that's on block. The 100-foot lots are usually ranches. I have no problem, you stick a ranch in the middle of that lot, you own both sides, I have no problem. Of what,
But the question is, has it always been two separate lots?
when I approached the person who was selling it way back in the 70s, to give you an idea, it was $30,000 for the whole 100.
Should have bought it.
No, actually, I went to an attorney and he told me not to buy it because there was a problem with the title on it at the time.
Okay. Well, they have produced evidence that supports a single and separate, except for the additional information that Katie wants to put in, and we go by that evidence. We're going to look at this application. We're not going to go back to history with poor choices being made by other people in the neighborhood. But John is right. This is going to have to pass inspection in terms of the new septic fields, the new septic system. Water has to stay on their property. Water is not allowed to migrate to somebody else's property. So there will be protections built into this.
Okay, you're also on the lot 12. That whole side of the house is all glass. It's their kitchen, and behind it is their bathroom. That faces the lot.
Okay, are they
Now-
here to raise that object? Is that you?
On to me
That's
again.
it. Okay,
So-
so what you're saying is that you've got glass on that side, so you're
Yeah.
concerned about
being
some kind of a
right.
buffer,
Yeah.
like a vegetative buffer.
I'm saying that there should be a house in the middle, and that's it.
Oh, like merge the lots and put one house on those
They
two
were always
lots.
together. When I was interested in it, it was together.
Okay.
In fact, after I was interested, the woman that bought 12, her name was Francesca, she had expressed interest in that lot, and she told me that she had the same problem.
Okay,
But
okay,
I'm sure that's been solved by now.
Okay.
But
all right. We appreciate very much your comments. We'll take that into consideration. Is there anybody on the board wishes to notice? I would say, though, that if you are concerned about the fact that you've got glass on that one side,
well,
Then
both
per-
houses have the glass facing
yeah, all right.
that lot.
At which point, I would suggest that we would consider requiring some vegetative buffer on their property so that there is a protection. And is that something that's agreeable
We can do
to?
that.
Okay, so we would, if we do approve this application, we're going to stipulate that they have to put an evergreen vegetative buffer to protect the properties on either side.
It just looks pretty, just plain
Well,
pretty.
okay. Things change. Is there anybody else? Thank you very much for your comments.
So can I
Anybody?
just- I
Yes,
just
go
have
ahead.
One observation. So I did go to the neighborhood and I took a look around not only that street, but adjacent streets. This neighborhood is really small units, 700 square feet in some cases. Most of them are single stories, and there's a couple of larger ones, but the lots are actually a lot wider, and the larger lots, they're easier. So, I'm a little concerned that if there was a way for you to reduce the pyramid relief request some, that would make me feel better about any way forward. And I'm just imagining every other small, tiny lot coming in asking for exactly the same thing and what that would mean and how that would change with the presentation of the community. Just thinking out loud and expressing the concern.
Have you given any consideration to modifying the pyramid request?
Felt like it was minor. I mean, this is a. What do you think?
We built similar size, similar house on the same, actually smaller lot over the weekend, on Moon. And it was approved by the board. It was only 50 by 100, and this is 50 by 160.
Okay.
What's the square footage of the house?
2,000.
2,000. It's what, 3-bedroom or 4-bedroom?
4 bedroom. 4 bedrooms upstairs
And the walls on
living.
the second floor are only 7 feet, so you really can't lower them anymore.
I personally have no problem with it.
Okay, let me ask if there's anyone else in the audience who wishes to be heard in this application. Is there anyone on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this application?
No one on Zoom.
Okay. All right, so just to summarize, Bob, you want to summarize what they're required to do?
They are required to provide updated single and separate search, adding lot 20, was it 25, Katie said?
Yes,
25 to the search. What
and the
else?
current owners.
And the current owners of each lot. And we can do that by written submission.
And the vegetative screening.
And the vegetative
We
screening
want,
alongside.
we would probably put a requirement in about vegetative screening.
Do you
which
want
seems-
this on survey, show it on survey?
If you can modify the survey before and submit it as a written submission, we would appreciate that, yes.
And we always encourage to talk to the neighbor and try to see what,
Right.
other than that. Any other, that's it,
I
right?
think that was it. Is there anything, did I miss anything? Did we miss anything?
Mm-mm.
All
Okay.
right, so we're gonna hold the meeting, we're gonna close the meeting, hold it up with written submissions until December 6th with a decision on 12/19.
Second.
Mr. Mastonio,
Aye.
Ms. Kane,
And that is
Mr.
for
Leonard.
That's for number 1 and 2.
Aye.
sorry, Mr. Redmond,
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Mr. Davis? Chair votes aye. Okay, so the decision is on 12/19.
12/19.
Okay, thank you very much.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Number 3 on the agenda, DLK Interest LLC, 21 Oakview Road, North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-32-2-32.2. Applicant requests relief of the following sections of the Town Code for proposed tennis court, 330-6 General Regulations that references 330-11 Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations for distance from front lot line from 70 feet to 5 feet. Also, 330-76D, placement of accessory structures, and 330-83C yards for a tennis court to be placed in the required front yard and any other relief necessary.
Board has jurisdiction. Carl, can you give one of those originals to Candace, please?
Sure.
You just want to state your name and address, please?
Sure. Carl Bencasa, 860 Montauk Highway. Waterville, New York for the applicant. Good to see you all. So I'm handing a packet around so you can all see, have a better idea of what the nature of the request is. This is a 57,000, approximately 57,000 square foot conforming lot in the R40 zoning district. It's burdened primarily by 2 front yards, but as you see in the documents I've provided, there is that small point when Oakview Road meets the rear end of the subject lot. And because of that, there is this sort of unique front yard setback from what, naturally you would consider the backyard. It doesn't gain access off of Oakview Road. Primarily, its access is off of Dorset, Dorset. So the applicant is seeking to construct a tennis court in the southeast portion of the property for 53.57 feet. The eastern property line abuts Oakview Drive. That's the extent of the front yard as it abuts that road. Until its abandonment to the north, as you can see, Oakview was abandoned some years ago and stopped at that line. Mhm. Only about 11 feet of the court will be set back at that 5 feet. I know it sounds substantial, but when you look at what we're actually proposing, the nature of the lot, how it's situated, and where portions of the court that will actually be impacted by that front yard, it's only about 11 feet of the court will be set back. The rest of the court meets the required setbacks for side and rear yards, which is 20 feet. The relief we're asking is for 605 square feet of a tennis court. That's approximately 11% of the court surface that will encroach within the side rear yard. As a result, obviously, the implied in that is that 90% of the court will meet all requirements of the code. As you can see, the court As you can see, the positioning of the court is done so as to maximize the rear yard use of the property to respect the setbacks, the zoning setbacks, the required zoning setbacks from the surrounding lots. And really, it's designed so that the only needed relief is with respect to that small, unique, strange access or abutment of Oakview Road. Such relief is not uncommon in this neighborhood. As you can see, I think this is in your packet. That shows you where other variances have been requested in the neighborhood. The orange lot being the subject lot, anything that's red is where variances were requested. Many of the adjoining lots received variances. It's not uncommon in this neighborhood, as many of the lots are in fact non-conforming. Another thing to point out, the aerial that you've seen at the top of this is during the winter. If you look in the summertime, and there is an aerial, it looks kind of at night, if you look at that. It gives a good indication of how wooded this area actually is when it's in season, and how buffered the area will be. The most impacted neighbor is the neighbor across Oakview Drive. And as you can see, that neighbor has Oakview Drive in between it and where the tennis court would go. So in reality, no yard line is shorter than 20 feet from this proposed court, which is the requirement under zoning. We are asking for relief from Oakview Road, and that is it. I'm happy to entertain any questions.
Did you, any comments from that across the street neighbor? Oh, okay, so maybe.
Some might be here,
Okay,
yeah.
so let's wait on that then for a minute. So, may I ask you a couple of questions? I was over there today. There's some, I have pictures of it, but I don't know if that's appropriate, but there's some like, thin wooden, sticks. I was looking for a technical term, but they're sticks. Out on the street. Is the court gonna be over to that spot?
I'm not familiar with,
Katie,
if you
can
look
I
at the
show
survey,
them
you
my
can see
stick,
where the
or-
court will be.
You
I-
can, I mean, it's, I don't really,
Well, I think I know
what it is.
Yeah, I would.
I think I know what it is, because I was also to the property.
Do you want to show me, and then I can?
I can show you.
Yeah, I think the owner tried to lay out where the
Oh,
tennis
where
court
the
would
tennis
be.
court's gonna go.
So
'Cause
that's
I
what
was there when
wanted
he
to
did that.
understand.
Well, I
Yeah.
wouldn't rely on that. I don't know if that
No,
was
no,
done with
it
a
was-
surveyor
no.
or anything like
Okay.
that, yeah.
No.
Because it looks, I mean, for me, it made it look more problematic than I thought it might otherwise be because it's spilling into the street. I don't know if that.
It's wholly on this property. It's not
Okay.
spilling into any street or Oakview Road.
Is the tennis court gonna be sunken?
It will be sunken 4 feet.
I'm sorry, how deep again?
4 feet.
With-
And it's 55 by 105, which is actually smaller than you generally require.
Than Keith required.
It's smaller than the Tuthill.
And what kind of vegetation is around it, and is there the ability to create a buffer?
There, if you'd like
the
a
event
buffer,
there's
we
nothing.
certainly would consider that, sure.
Okay.
As I showed an aerial that shows it's pretty densely vegetated.
It's very secluded over there.
Yeah,
have to
I
say.
also went to the property.
Okay.
It's very, very densely vegetated. That happens to be one open area,
Yeah.
that little
agree.
corner. I think that there's some confusion as to where the property line is over there, and it needs to probably be staked. Because I think, the applicant feels that it's further into the road than perhaps other people feel that. So I think we need to absolutely stake the property line there
Sure.
with a survey. And the other thing is that, I'm sure, Julie, you saw this also, the property comes across and then it dips with big boulders. And, it's kind of unusual. I mean, I don't know exactly
Yes.
what that was, but they're gonna sink the tennis court. I mean, there may be some ability to create a buffer with
Sure.
the rocks as well as with, sound
Those rocks
deafening.
are right where the court's gonna go.
Yeah, I know they are, yeah, and it's also dipped down, whereas
It
you're gonna
is.
cut into the thing, so, the,
The kid's play set is still there too, that's coming out?
That's on the survey. Is that on the survey?
That's on a photo on
the-
Yeah.
I didn't see
I didn't
it.
see it
I didn't
today.
see it. I didn't see it, no. I
It
mean,
might be gone already.
Might be gone.
yeah.
So I usually have more to say, but it's a pretty straightforward application. But for that jut of Oakview Drive, of Oakview Road, which has been abandoned to a great degree, and still could be abandoned, this complies with zoning completely.
When you say could be abandoned, what could be abandoned? Your client's access
Well,
via Oakview?
As you know, the neighbor, I think Canava, Mr. Canava, and the Canava family does use a portion of it. So that abandonment would have to be done in conjunction with their interests too. It wouldn't be a unilateral.
Yeah, so we
abandonment.
don't know that it can actually be abandoned.
Well,
Well,
it
there's
could,
like a big
if there was-
circle.
If there's a
If there's agreement.
If there's an agreement.
Yeah, there's a gravel, I'm sorry, macadam section.
Yes.
And then there's the abandoned part, which is like overgrown, the little fence to block it, that's the abandonment as far as I'm concerned. The rest of it seems not to have been abandoned. But there is a contention that where the property line is, which we need to get some clarification on.
Sure.
One other question. So explain to me why the tennis court is not able to be put closer towards the pool,
Well, if you put
to
it
the west.
towards the pool.
Right.
The concern there was just with respect to having some open space for a backyard. That was
So
burden.
one of the concerns I have about, I react badly to like really short setbacks because, I do a lot of work in my yard, and I've done some construction, and 5 feet is from here to that wall, right? So that's, if somebody screws up, you're impacting somebody else's property. And if you're gonna dip down 4 feet and you're gonna have a slope and the distance is only 5, now you have almost a 45-degree slope, which is not my problem, it's somebody else's problem. But, I just wonder about, sort of the site design, and if you wanna put screening in there, is there room to do the screening and the sloping and the other stuff? So, I understand. I thought you laid out very nicely what the major issues are, and I think it's really just a question, besides everything else previously said, is if we want to effectuate a meaningful buffer, you need the space to do it, and I don't know if that's possible until we get maybe some of the other things clarified.
Can I also follow up on John's point, which is why not closer to the pool? And your answer, I think, was, not to put words in your mouth, you wanted to leave some open space. But if we would reduce sort of the need for relief by moving it closer, is that something that could be considered, or
I'll
does it
certainly
just
take
not
it
work?
to the applicant.
Right.
Yeah, I
And
think
so
we need to
there's,
take
but
it
there's
to
other than the need for, or the desire for open space, there's nothing structural that prevents this tennis court from being moved closer to the pool to the west.
No,
I mean,
Nothing structural. No, nothing. By structure, you mean, is there any?
Is there
any
septic? Is
No.
there underground wiring? Is there any kind of equipment
No.
for the
The
pool
septic's
or
in the
anything
front
else?
Well, at
Nothing.
the expense of stating the obvious, the proposed distance, a little more one way and a little more another way, obviates a lot of the tension
Yes.
that arises from the closeness and the potential limitations that may come from that.
Yeah.
Just-
I mean, they're
just an
still going to need
observation.
relief because it's 70 feet.
Yes.
I
That's
get
an
that.
obvious.
I get that.
Yeah. Yes.
But
there
I
are-
would like to see that moved.
there are major front yard issues with this because they have so many front yards. But
Yes.
I think it's a very fair request to consider, moving it closer to
A
the
small
pool,
relocation.
a small relocation, so that in fact, if we were to approve it with a buffer and everything else, it could be accommodated. Because I think the point, but the property line is definitely an issue here, so we've got to get clarification
I
on
mean,
where that property line
Carl,
is.
you may even be able to pull it up a little northeast.
If you do that, you're going to, I think you have greater impact on the neighbors, which was part of our concern.
What neighbor?
Which
And the people laughing in the back.
So, no, but I mean, if you're pulling it up,
That's
and a
further
little bit
away.
over, you're getting away from this road, and you're also preserving some
Which,
of
maybe,
this.
John, I don't know which way
Oakview
you're
Road. So this is where you need the relief right here. See
Mhm.
the 5 foot. If you pull it up a little and a little over, you still preserve some open space and maybe alleviate.
See, but this is actually closer to a neighbor than this is.
No, I'm not saying pull it this way. I'm saying
But if you pull it up
and
more,
maybe
then,
over
yeah.
a little this way, you still preserve space there. That's a possibility.
Well,
That is
I
a
think
possibility.
that's up to the
Yeah,
applicant
it's
to
up to
come
the
back.
applicant, but it's something to think about. You can
Something
pull
to
it
think
west, you
about.
can pull it north.
Are there any other questions from the board on this? I think you've gotten a sense from the board.
Yes.
Is there anyone in the audience who wishes to be heard on this matter?
Wait a minute. You can do the podium. You want to hear the podium?
I don't care. Move over and then.
We're not gonna beat you up, are they? I'll be there. You're gonna surround yourself.
Okay, so are either of you attorneys?
No, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm gonna swear you in. You swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth.
I do.
Please state your name and address.
My name is Peter Canava. My address is 14 Oakview Road, Southampton, New York.
Peter, just say your last name.
Sure, Canna, V as in Victor, A.
Okay.
Okay, and do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Carol Snyder, Snyder, 14 Dorset Road.
Okay. Okay, so let's hear your comments on this application.
Okay, I am the person that's adjacent to this property in the rear.
All right, so on this,
I'm-
on
You're right
It's
here?
the 20-foot setback.
Is that
here, you're here.
Yes, that's
Okay.
it.
Right here?
You got it. Yep.
Okay.
That's us, right. And just a few things that the application said that I want to respond to. Question 15 states something about you think tennis courts are a common occurrence in our neighborhood. They are not, by any means. It's hard to even find, maybe one you'll find in the area, but that's it. And I'm not, it says that it's going to be a reduced sunken tennis court, and I believe on the survey it says a sports court. So there's also, what is it going to be, is the question.
It's a tennis court.
It's gonna be a tennis court. Do you need to
There are
reflect that
But
on
I
the
do
survey?
believe it's going to be a sports court, it's gonna be used for,
complete separate rules for pickleball courts, that's your concern?
no,
Okay.
I know that. I
It's
read
not a
those
pickleball
rules,
court.
there's no way this pickleball, right?
Okay, but then, so could that be a clarification on the survey?
Sure.
In response to question 16, that you said you could not place it somewhere else because of a rock revetment. Those are gonna be, there is no problem with that, because those rocks are gonna be moved or taken out in order to put the court in, correct?
You can just, you
Yeah,
can
I'm
address your
sorry.
Yeah,
comments.
you have
Oh,
to,
sorry.
Yeah.
you address the board, not
Okay.
crosstalk.
So that's,
Please.
my concern is that the application is saying the reason it can't be moved is because of some type of rock revetment.
Mhm.
And if you
Okay.
look at the survey, the court is going on the rock revetment, and that's gonna be
Okay.
removed completely, so
Okay.
it doesn't seem to make sense to me.
Misunderstanding.
And the most important to us, that we live adjacent there and we're 20 feet away, that's our backyard. That's our deck, that's our pool, that's our hammock, that's our picnic table, that's where we live mostly. So we're very concerned. Again, question 18 says it's not going to affect the neighborhood. It's going to affect us. It's going to affect our quality of life. Again, it's the noise and sure, a court, we're accepting whatever you're gonna do there, but we need some buffer. We need some
Okay.
assurance.
And I think we've made that point.
Right.
So,
Mhm.
but, you know, in terms of their distance from your property
Is legal.
is legal. So, but I think as being a good neighbor, they're going to take into consideration the need for
Planting.
the
Yes.
kind of plantings that are gonna be,
Mhm.
and also the fact that it's sunken is also an additional help.
Right.
But, and you heard us today asking the applicant to please consider a slight relocation, and so let's see what they come back with.
Right.
Okay. And you, sir?
Yes, I am the resident at 14 Oakview Road. So I am the home that is,
The road.
yes,
Okay.
on the road,
Right.
Is
in
it-
my driveway.
Is this you here, sir?
No, this is him right here. This
He's
one
right
here.
at the,
That looks like it's me, yes.
Yeah, this one right here. Here's the little
Okay.
squiggle.
Oh, with a little, okay.
Yeah,
Got it,
yeah.
Got it, got it.
And I've been in this home, I was the one who built the home, so I've been there from the beginning, and I was there to see the road built. And the builder of my home also built this home. So both these homes were built by the same builder. There is no reason for this court to be built this close to the road, 5 feet. If you notice, it looks like you had some pictures when you were there. The corner of this court would literally be directly in front of my driveway. And when you're talking about the property of this size, there's no reason why this court can't be moved further. I guess that would be to the
West.
north/east, right?
North.
Is that,
Northwest.
West.
is that northwest?
Northwest, yes.
Northwest, okay.
Northwest, you're talking this direction?
Yeah, closer to the pool.
Closer to the pool.
Closer to the pool, but also closer to the house this
Yeah,
way.
north.
So northwest.
Yes, northwest, thank you. It isn't straightforward, despite, I think, what was said earlier. This road, when it was built, was approved by the Department of Highway. It was required that a turnaround be built in that area. I remember specifically, I was there the day that the highway department was there and building it with the builder. It is effectively my front yard. I have a front porch that's right there. If you had been to the house, you've seen it. I sit out there often. My kids play in that court all the time. They ride their bikes on it. You know, I am not against a court being built, and I've said that to the neighbor. I'm a good neighbor. I think that he should be able to build something if he would like, but I think that it should be considered that it be moved closer to the home. When you look at the setbacks here at 20 feet, again, there's nothing stopping this court moving backwards and still meeting the 20-foot setbacks and being further away from the road. It's also important to note that it's not a very wide street, Oakview Road. It's about maybe 15 feet. I watch my garbage man come and pick up my garbage all the time. He has a hard time getting in and out of the driveway and getting up and down that street. And I get worried about the concept of saying that a road can be abandoned 15 feet so that he can get to a 20-foot setback, which is effectively halfway down the middle of the road. So for all of those reasons, I feel as if it's not an unfair request to simply have the court moved in a direction such that that turnaround remains in existence and that the corner of the court is not that close to the road and to the front of my house.
Okay, thank you for your comments.
Well, was it, Carl, was there anything, did you make any suggestion that you were going to do anything to the turnaround?
No.
No.
No, okay, so
No.
that's resolved.
We talked about whether the road could be abandoned, and I said,
Right.
Abandoning it, which
if
would-
both the neighbors agreed to abandon it,
Mhm.
it could be, that portion.
Right.
But he's
Um,
not agreeing.
It doesn't
But he's not
sound like
agreeing,
we
so
have
it's
to
not,
do
it's
it.
not.
So it's
an
a
issue.
non-issue.
And you're not 5 feet from the road, you're 5 feet from the
Right,
property
and then-
line.
They're 5 feet from the road is the property.
Most property line.
So, yeah, so to be clear, the 5 feet is actually gonna rip up the road, a portion of the road.
So part of the problem is that his property goes into the road.
Yes.
The
And
road
that's,
goes into his property.
right,
Yes.
exactly. Yeah, sorry, I said it wrong. But yes, so in a way, the road that you're taking advantage of is on his property.
No, it's that the house is 21 Oakview, so I think where the issues are, and if you go back in history, you can see, and I can pull the files for you. The intention when the builder who built my house and built his house for himself, he was going to build a driveway with a garage on that structure. That was gonna be the front of his home. It is 21 Oakview Road.
Okay.
And
All right,
so
but I-
that's what's happening
There's
here.
confusion in terms of where the property line is.
That's,
And that's
Well,
why
this
we
is-
were
you go by
asking
the
for it to be
surveys.
staked.
Yeah.
And the surveys show that portions of the
Yeah.
turnaround are on his
Yeah,
property.
I
small
know.
portions.
So, I mean,
Right.
I think that
Paved or
that's,
gravel?
It's
it's
macadam,
it's a-
she said, yeah.
it's a contention.
But sir, I want to make clear with you that so that you understand that even if he moves, even if this applicant moves this tennis court, they're still going to need relief from us because it is a 70-foot setback from that.
Yes, sir.
So I don't want you to be disillusioned by the fact that it's not that we wouldn't offer variance relief, it's that the extent of the relief, it would be diminished, the amount of relief.
Yeah, and I do want to say, based on what we've heard and discussed, there really is considerable room to to move this north and west, and the impact then would be greater on the residents, the owner, not the neighbors, and that seems reasonable. And yes, it's nice to have more open space, but there'll be more open space on the place where it is not being built, and that may just be a reality of the situation.
I think I'm hearing loud and clear what has to be done. And I do appreciate the neighbors and the board.
Okay.
So I will go to the applicant.
Okay, before you do, we still have to see if anybody else in the audience who wishes to be heard on this application.
Yeah. Nice to see a board in this town do their job.
Thank you very much, sir. And I didn't even swear you in.
And that's the first time we've heard that.
I mean, if I had sworn you in, you might not have said the
No one
same
has
thing.
ever said that to us.
Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this application?
That's right.
Well, there is one person.
Okay, let's hear him. Oh, we're gonna say.
We'll find out. It's a mystery guest.
We never know what we're gonna get.
Yeah. It's like a box of chocolates.
You never been know. Is there somebody on there?
This is what happens. There's
This
just
is
a lot,
what Zoom does.
Sometimes takes a while to.
and people are like, "How do I do?"
You should have,
FaceTime.
you should have seen during COVID.
Oh my gosh.
Midnight.
Okay,
Because you were all
okay,
on
nobody
Zoom.
is on Zoom. So this is Julie's. Julie, do you want to take the lead on what we're doing?
Yes, so, sorry, I lost my feet. So I think, Carl, one question for you, well, okay, we're gonna close the public hearing.
Oh, well, are we?
I think we should hold
I
it.
think
Okay,
we should
we're
hold
holding
it
it
open.
open.
I think we should
For
Yeah.
you to
Written
make-
sub-
Well, I'd rather close it.
Of course you would.
No, sorry, no, I misspoke. I think you got some guidance that suggested we ought to hold this open so
Yes.
your client can make some adjustments.
Yeah,
to
we
the
are gonna,
plans.
yes. So if you want to, is December 5th, or is that available?
December
We have
5th,
11
we have
on.
11.
What's
January
the
2
next one?
is not. January 2.
1, 2.
January 2,
January 2.
The January 2nd.
In
Well-
order to get the, you know, if you do go back, you know, resurvey and stuff like that, do you want to take January instead of December?
Can you get it done? Is that out?
Oh, I can get it done in December. It's moving lines on the page.
We won't be able to get it in time, right?
Yeah, this is a tough week
Yeah, no,
because
I
of
know.
Thanksgiving.
When's the 2nd in December?
It's,
The 19th, but we're not putting.
It's not
things on
available.
that.
but you don't want January 2nd, right? Okay.
If it's between December 5th and January 2nd, I'd prefer December.
All right, but you've got to get things to us in time.
We can do it.
Rock and roll.
All right.
Come on.
Okay, so you want to adjourn till,
Yes, so,
What'd you say?
Say Tuesday then, right?
yeah, Tuesday.
Tuesday, you'll have it.
okay, so we're going to adjourn this matter until December 5th.
Second.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Mr. Greben.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Number 4 on the agenda, the application of Michael Levine, 9 Beachland Avenue, East Quogue, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-363-2-21. Applicant requests relief from the following sections of the Town Code for proposed second-story addition to a one-family dwelling on a non-conforming lot. 330-84D Pyramid Law for a west sky plane encroachment of 277 cubic feet and any other relief necessary.
The board has jurisdiction.
Tough one.
Okay,
Applicants on Zoom.
okay. All right, are you an attorney?
Nope.
Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Andrew Graham, 69 Ridgeway Avenue, Setauket, New York.
Okay, Mr. Graham, do you want to explain the application?
Yep, it's a proposed second-story addition.
Can
It's
you
270
speak up, please? It's hard to hear you. Speak
Sorry
up.
about that. Get a little bit closer. It's a proposed second-story addition. It's about 277 cubic feet of pyramid encroachment. It is the back, in the rear corner of the addition, as it, the house is skewed towards the, it's skewed, and it gets closer to the westerly lot line as it goes back, and it's that rear corner of soffit and a little bit of roof as it approaches that lot line. you know, on that side, it's the neighbor's property, but it is, there's about 100 feet of woods on that side, so it shouldn't affect anyone's view or property. It's an 8-foot plate height upstairs. It's nothing outrageous. Yeah, I don't think it's a substantial variance. It's relatively minor. This is a revision from what was originally proposed. They hit the roof down and they moved the second floor exterior wall over about 30 inches to reduce the amount of relief needed.
Okay, Helen, this is your application. Do you want to start us off?
My application.
I can't hear you, Helen.
This is my application.
Yes, it is.
I thought you said John. Okay, well, I came to visit the property and I have no problem with it. It's very minimal and the neighbor next door wouldn't hear or see anything because as the applicant said, it is very wooded on that side where it's we should all have encroachment of 270 feet. And then it would make all of us very happy.
It would.
So I think you have done a very nice job. I've looked at your whole record. And I thank you for doing what you're doing.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody on the board who wishes to be heard on this application?
Nope.
Is there anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on the application of 9 Beachland Avenue in East Quogue? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard? Okay, Helen, this is yours.
Okay, we're gonna close the public hearing. And we're gonna leave it open for written submissions till December 19th with a decision on January 2nd.
Is that what we're doing?
No, 12/19.
12/5,
Subs,
12/6.
Helen, we've been doing subs for
12/6.
12/6 and a decision on 12/19.
19.
I thought we did no decisions on the 19th.
We're only doing
Only
decisions.
Only decisions.
I'm sorry, it'll be a decision on December 19th.
Second.
Ms. Burgess,
Aye.
Mr. Leonard,
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Mastroni.
Aye.
Mr. Redhand.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Number 5 on the agenda, Revolutionary Road Properties LLC, 18 Seagate Avenue, West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-354-4-51. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for an existing third story. Section 330-6, General Regulations that references 330-11, Residence District's Table of Dimensional Regulations for a 495 square foot third story constructed without benefit of a building permit on a non-conforming lot and any other relief necessary.
I don't know if Jim Hume is on Zoom, but I don't have the affidavit of posting. I need to ask Candace.
He's not here right now.
Okay.
Should we second call it?
Just see if he's in the hall. Did you see Jim Hume in the hall?
I didn't see anybody in the hall.
Okay, then yes, second call it. 'Cause
Okay,
I
we'll
don't
second
have the
call that.
posting yet.
Okay. Number 6 on the agenda, application of Ellen, either Belay or Bellet, 529 Seven Ponds Town Road, Watermill, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-100-2-12.1. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for a proposed one-story addition, Section 330-115C, continuance for front yard from the existing non-conforming 65.7 feet to 30 feet on a non-conforming lot and any other relief necessary.
The board has jurisdiction.
You're Lisa, right?
I am.
Let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Lisa Zaloga, 1375 North Sea Road, Southampton, New York, 11968.
Okay, Lisa, tell us about this application.
So this is a piece of property that is a flag lot on Seven Ponds Town Road. When the lot was originally created, it was pretty much of a rectangular lot with a flag. And so that's when the house was built. That was the shape of the property. The house was built kind of generally mid-center of the property, with a swimming pool off to the rear. way back when, in the beginning of time, it was C-zone. At the time that the house was constructed, it was R40. Property was still undersized even at that time. It has since been upzoned to CR80, as have all the properties around it. At some point in time after the house was constructed, there was a lot line modification where they somehow acquired this rear portion to the property, which is great, but doesn't help the buildable area of the house, being that it's on the other side of the pool and far away from the house. So the existing two-story house has a two-car garage off on the north end of the property. And our goal is to turn that into, a recreation family room space and relocate the garage, the two-car garage, to the, the east of the property, creating kind of an L-shaped house. I think that, I think it actually benefits the neighbors in that headlights, from cars pulling in and out of the driveway, the garage door being open, won't actually be facing into the rear of the property in front of it. We chose to maintain a side yard setback in the CR zoning district of 30 feet. It's a one-story addition, and that's pretty much the general gist of it.
John, do you want to start us off on this?
I went there and looked at it also. You really can't see because it's all the way set back. But
And it's
I do-
completely surrounded by
I do agree. I
shrubs.
happen to like the design of that. I think that I agree with the headlights and stuff. So, personally, for me, I didn't find it offensive. I actually liked it.
Have you heard from any of the neighbors?
I have not.
Lisa, let me just ask you something.
Sure.
So where you say proposed one-story addition,
Mhm.
that includes the old garage, which is being converted to new space, plus the new garage.
The old garage is actually in this section of the house here.
Oh,
kind of
here. Oh, I'm
behind-
sorry.
yes,
Okay.
yes.
So it's behind it. Yeah.
It's
Okay.
behind
Where
it,
it says
correct.
AC units and shower. Okay.
Yes, yes,
So that's
correct.
where it is.
That's where the existing garage is now. So the doors face into the rear of the property that
I
is street
see.
front of it. So I think, in this case, as we pull in now,
It'll go right into the garage.
they'll go right into the
And
garage.
then the 30 feet, is that, which is the front, what's considered front yard in this house?
Because of, it was obviously predetermined when they built the house. So the front yard is actually this east side where my addition is located.
Right.
So that's the 30 feet?
That's
is
the 30 feet,
Front
correct.
yard, so
Yes,
this is the
correct.
front yard. So it's not a side yard setback, it's a front yard setback.
I'm asking for a variance in a front yard setback, but I chose 30 feet as my setback because that is what's required under CR 80 as a side yard.
Okay, so, all
that
right,
was-
just
that
wanted a
was where I-
clarification.
yes,
So the
correct.
30 feet is really for a side yard in CR
No,
80?
no, it is for a front yard in CR 80.
No, it is not 30 feet.
No, sorry.
Yeah.
I'm doing it in a front yard, correct?
I know, right. So the side yard in CR is 30.
Yes.
But you're asking for the variance and making it 30 feet as opposed to 70 feet because it's a front yard. Okay.
Correct.
All right, just wanted to
I think it's 80
clarify
feet.
that.
I think it's 80 feet,
All right, yeah, maybe it is 80 feet.
yes.
It is 80 feet,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. All right, are there any questions from the board on this?
And all this arborvitae,
Mhm.
is that already planted or is that proposed?
That is already planted.
Okay.
That was planted
Are they
a couple
mature?
years ago. Yeah, they started in at 18 feet, so then
Oh,
they've
cool.
grown.
Yeah, everything's
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it's completely surrounded.
Yeah, okay.
Any other board members?
No. I have
Is
no
there
problem with
anyone in
this.
the audience who wishes to be heard on this matter?
I live next door.
Is there anyone on Zoom who wishes to be heard on the matter of 529 Seven Ponds Town Road? Okay, so John, this is yours.
All right, so we're gonna close this out. Close it
Close it, hold it
for
open for,
comments for 12/6,
yeah, no, written
Written
submissions by 12/6.
and then the decision on 12/19.
Second.
Perfect. Mr. Revan,
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Hi.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Helen.
Helen,
and Ms.
okay, I didn't
Ms.
know.
Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so
Lisa.
much, guys.
Okay.
Thank you. Good
Have a
holiday.
good night.
I said both.
He said both.
I said both. I said belay or bellin. I didn't know which it was. Okay, number 7 on the agenda, ML Ocean Road LLC, 914 Ocean Road, Bridgehampton, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-105-1-12.1. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code, Section 330-11, Residence District Table of Dimensional Regulations, for a carport located at side yard setback of 10.2 feet where a minimum of 30 feet is required, a trellis with an outdoor kitchen located in a side yard setback of 25.6 feet where a minimum of 30 feet is required, and Section 330-76D, placement of accessory building structures and uses in all districts, and 330-83C yards for a portion of the trellis with outdoor kitchen located within the minimum required side yard setback and any other relief necessary.
The board has jurisdiction.
Oh, you're back.
Okay, I'm going to swear you in on this application. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Andrew Graham, 69 Ridgeway Avenue, Setauket, New York.
Okay, Andrew, tell us about this application.
Okay, so I'm gonna start, this property is currently in contract to be sold, and as part of that, the new owner just obtained a permit to remove the carport. So the carport is no longer part of this application.
Okay, so the carport is now going to be removed.
It's gonna
And
be
so
removed.
you're not
It's-
asking
it's-
for a
Permit's
variance.
already issued.
Take that.
So we're only asking for the relief for the outdoor kitchen and trellis, the
Makes it easier.
4.4 feet, I believe, 25.6, where 30 is required. It's legalization. It was built approximately the end of 2016. I got a few calls from the surrounding neighbors. Just once I explained the application to them, and that nothing new was proposed. What's there is there. They were more or less happy with it. They were just worried about something new. There's not too much to it other than we're asking for about 4 feet of relief here. So,
Okay,
if there's any
I
questions from
went
the
to
board
the
members.
property. I went to the property. Actually met the architect there when I was there. I'm glad you took the carport out. It was unsightly and definitely
It's a bit
was
to
not
ask for.
needed. It was right next to the garage doors. It was really had no purpose. The outdoor kitchen now, though, is, it's plumbed. It's got, electricity and water. It's been established. It certainly has lots of vegetation on the side. It's protected from the neighbors. So I have no issue with it at this point. Anybody else on the board wishes to?
4.4 feet does not bother me.
No. And it's been there since 2016, you
Yeah.
said? Yeah.
8 years?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Anybody else on the board? Nope. Anybody in the audience who wishes to be heard on this matter?
Not you, Carl.
Okay, anyone on Zoom who wishes to be heard on the property at 914 Ocean Road?
Beautiful property.
Okay, it's mine, so we're going to hold this open for written comments until December 6th, and a decision on December 19th.
Well,
Second.
wait, I think we should have the survey revised to have the carport removed.
Oh.
I'm sorry, yes, so if you can get the written revision to the survey in, we will then make a decision on the 16th, otherwise we'll delay the decision.
Okay.
Okay, so the written, yes, thank you very much, Kate, for reminding us, yeah. So you're gonna get a revised survey to be removed, and then we'll vote on that, assuming we get that on December 19th. Is there a second?
Second.
I did second it.
Oh, I'm so sorry,
No, it's
I didn't hear you. Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Mastrona.
Aye.
Mr. Lopez.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Aye. And it was mine, so yes, aye. Okay, thank you very much, Amber.
Thank you.
Okay, number 9 on the agenda, B Circ 40 Waters Edge LLC, 40 Waters Edge Road, North Sea, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-62-1-59. Do I have to read the whole thing? This is this is real new for me. New adjourned. Okay, so no, I don't.
We adjourned it from last meeting.
Yes, so you read it the last
I read it the last time, I can't remember it.
Already have yours. Good.
Okay, I have to find my file on this, it's on another. We had a submittal on this, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did.
With an updated We got
Okay.
site plan, pyramid elevation, surveys.
Okay. All right, Carl, please state your name and address.
Carl Benacasa, 860 Montauk Highway, Watermill, New York, for the applicant. The proposed lot is located between Water's Edge Road and Knoll Road, creating it a burden in that it has two front yards, no rear yard. It does have it is approximately, its size is 10,800 square feet. Its lot width is 80 feet. It is in an R40 zoning district, which, as you know, requires 40,000 square feet and a minimum lot width of 150. So it is burdened both in the sense that it is non-conforming and that it is two distinct front yards, as does every home on that sort of area in that block. The relief being requested is really, there's four different forms of relief being requested. The first is relief of 19.8 feet to allow a porch at the front yard setback to Water's Edge of 40.2 feet where 60 is required. 49.2 existed to the dwelling. That was already existing. So the dwelling was existing in a non-conforming location from that setback. Again, 60 is required. It was just under 50 from the house. And the proposed porch addition is completely in line with the pre-existing setback of a wood deck that's going to be removed. If you note on the survey, that wood deck is highlighted in red.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, we are taking the setback from that wood deck and applying it to the entire width of the home.
And that's the 40.2.
That's the 40.2.
Okay.
Exactly right.
That's one.
That's
right?
one.
Okay.
Relief of 12.8 feet to allow a porch to a front yard setback to Knoll Road, so on the other side of the property.
Hold on.
So if you look, it's the porch, proposed porch in the front yard to Knoll Road.
Okay, front porch.
Okay.
Where is that? You said 12.2?
Relief of 12.8.
Oh, and what is
Relief of 12.8.
What is the new number going to be? Is that the 24
47.2 where 60 is required. It's 47.
Where is that? Let me just.
I'm not seeing. I'm looking at your
I'm
new
not
survey.
looking.
Is
I'm
that
not.
So you
finding
have to,
the-
it's the 55.2 to the house.
Yeah.
55.2?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's, do you have the scaled ruler by chance?
Whatever
Wait
it
a
is, it has to be on the survey. We're not
Yeah, I
scaling.
mean-
Yeah,
or
yeah, no, I
adding
know,
things.
but that's what it is.
All right. Well,
We'll
so,
update this.
So
all right,
that's
yeah.
not on the survey.
That's not,
It's not on the survey.
it's all right, don't worry about it.
But all right. So what is it now going to be?
It's
The-
gonna
so
be
the porch-
47.2.
47.2 feet porch from
From
From Knoll
From
Road.
Knoll Road.
all right.
So
that
what's
has to-
happening with the 55.2 is to the house.
That's to the house, that's a
Yeah.
pre-existing
So
non-conformity.
this, okay, so here to the road is
47.2.
Point
All right, but that's not on the
That needs to
survey.
be on the survey.
It will be on the survey. Yep, we'll update.
Okay.
Relief of 38.9 to allow for a swimming pool to a front yard setback of 31.1 where 70 is required. That
That's
is
on-
off of Knoll Road, and that's on the survey.
That's on the survey.
So pool at 31.1 where 70 is required, right?
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
Excuse me.
Relief of 11 feet to allow an attached carport.
Okay, hold
You
on.
see where
gotta
that
look,
is?
gotta look.
No.
Attached carport.
Well, it's
North, south, east, west. Where are we looking?
That's the
It's-
last
it's the
thing on the survey.
that's right.
It's
Where
the
is
what?
See where the proposed gravel driveway is?
Yes.
Go down that.
Go down that to
It says proposed roof. Yes,
Oh, that's the carport is the proposed roof?
that's right.
All right, please.
Can we make it say carport?
Okay,
How about roof of carport?
all right.
So it's not a garage, it's just a carport.
It's not a
with
garage,
with a
it's
top.
not contained. It's
All right,
only
so
carport.
that
Wait, what
is-
was that number?
Porte cochere.
Ah.
Would you prefer
Yeah,
that?
portico share. I like that.
What's the
What is the relief?
measurement there?
So that a
Not the
porch,
relief you're seeking. What should we look at?
the carport setback of 9 where 20 is required,
Okay, I
and
see that.
1.2 exists. If you see that red line,
Mm-hmm.
that's an existing wood deck that is built right to the property line.
Oh, I see.
All right, so that's
So that's being
9
removed,
feet
okay.
where 20 is required, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Relief from 33076D and 33083C to allow a swimming pool within the required front yard.
Okay.
As you know, there's no other yard but front yards on these properties.
Right.
And then finally is the pyramid relief. If you have that analysis.
Is that in the submission?
It is. It's right here. So as you can see, the total pyramid is about 1,200 cubic feet of relief. If you're looking at the west elevation, and you can see the carport there, that it's an open structure. So from the west, it's the top corner of the second story, and then the corner of that carport.
So it's 1,029 plus the 175.
And it comes to about 1,200 square feet of relief.
Mm-hmm.
Now, given the
104.
All right, you got me. So, this is a very burdened neighborhood. In fact, every home. I'll pass that on.
Yes, please.
You want two cans?
Yes, please.
We can share if you're wondering.
Thank you.
This is just an analysis that we did. Every home on that block, the block between Water's Edge and Knoll, has a variance. Has a variance. Many for the side, obviously because there are two front yards. So a lot of them for front yard variance relief. There are 5 pool variances. Some pools have been allowed within 20 feet by variance of either Knoll Road or Water's Edge. There are 3 pyramid relief, 3 variances granting pyramid relief. One right down the corner at 7 Helens Lane in North Sea of 5,716 cubic feet. So
What year
about
was that?
5 times what we're
What
asking.
year?
2015.
Oh, thank you.
That's variance D015155.
Okay.
If you'd like to see it, I have copies for you.
But you don't need to see it.
Okay.
Um,
So, and a lot of these homes have evolved over time. As you know, pyramid relief, I believe it was started in the early 90s. Many of this neighborhood was developed well before then. So you see a lot of homes that are existing in a location that would now require pyramid relief, some 2 feet from the property yard. So to say that this relief is out of character with the neighborhood is really not considering the way this neighborhood has developed, the types of homes that are there. And it's cognizant of the burdens that are placed on the homes between Water's Edge Knoll Road, Robbins Lane, and Helens Lane. In that section, again, this is the only home that has not gotten a variance of some kind for this relief. So in light of
they're
all
not
that,
all pyramid relief.
they're not all pyramid
No,
relief.
okay.
No. Some are relief for setbacks. There's a garage to 28 feet. There's a pool to 20 feet.
Okay.
There is another down the road. There was another in this sort of central span between Knoll and Water's Edge. There was a relief for 648 cubic feet. But again, a lot of the homes exist in locations that would require pyramid relief, or with structures that would require pyramid relief.
Paul, do you recall what the ceiling heights are?
In the
I think they're
home,
both 9.
I think they're 9. Yeah,
They're
let me
9 and
check.
9.
I remember this property from a while ago, and there was a fair amount of neighbor objection, particularly around the pergola, as it would stand out. It was the lighting of the pergola, the whole thing. Now the pergola is gone, right?
This is
No,
a
this is
different.
Oh, this is a
property.
different
No.
application. All right,
It's like,
sorry.
you're giving me,
That's JG Farm.
pergola is
Oh.
pergola is a trigger for me, so.
Oh, all right. Sorry. All right.
His knees
Maybe I'm-
start twitching.
All
Pergola.
Well, maybe I just relate to you and I see pergola and I go like, pergola, pergola. Sorry, take it all back.
That face, when I saw that picture, I think that's what it was.
Kevin,
You know,
what
I
about
actually
the-
did go to this property. Now I'm remembering. You know, the setback, the front yard setback seems, you know, consistent with what's
In
in the
line with
neighborhood.
what's there,
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. Is this the one with the swimming pool in the backyard?
Well, it's in the front yard.
It's in the front yard.
Because
You know,
there is no
that
backyard.
to me seemed very much out of place. And I mean, it's just, you drive around that neighborhood and there's no other
The next door house has.
Yeah, the next one. Neighbor.
in that goes to the street. I'm
Yeah.
not talking about
They
a,
have 2 front yards.
I understand,
Yeah.
but I would think that if we're gonna have a swimming pool in the front yard, we've gotta do something with vegetation
Sure.
and requirement, because, I mean, it's clearly, you don't want people looking into the swimming pool.
I think that,
you know.
I
Yeah.
think the occupants would write that even more than the neighbors. would.
Yes, well, and I think it, you know, so we'll have to stipulate that in the thing.
Can you vegetate the whole Knoll Road?
Sure.
I think they should just make
Lot
the
line?
neighbor. The neighbor has
I would
the
do the
if
whole
they did
lot
same
line.
thing the neighbor has, it would be perfect.
Yeah.
Done.
And that would be nice to green belt it, and then it gives,
Yeah,
it gives them privacy, it gives your
I have an
client
objection,
privacy.
but normally I don't have many objections.
You do have an objection.
Very rare you have too many. Is the front. I don't like that driveway. You know, I also spent a lot of time on that property. And the house is gone, right? So they must have went for a permit. I looked up all the permits. So they started the house with, they have a permit for
Yeah.
a one
Yeah.
house, right? A one floor house.
Yes.
And then they re-permit it, which is okay. My only objection is this front part.
Well, I think it has to be taken out,
Okay,
because
good. I don't
according
see
to
that.
what
Which part?
Robin, it's the one on Water's Edge.
So our new survey
The
still
parking
had
on,
it.
You want the parking on Water's Edge removed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
Water's Edge, yeah,
It just doesn't fit
because
the neighborhood either.
I think that, that was a comment by Marjorie, wasn't it? Something about the right-of-way, parking on the
That was
right-of-way. I think.
Property Owners Association, right? With the-
And I think Marjorie said
Parking on
something.
west side of the property right of way shall be removed.
Right, and that's from Marjorie.
So we will remove that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
To be removed. Kevin, what was your issue with the pyramid relief? You were asking about the ceiling heights. Do you
Well, I was
do you
just- I
have
was-
an issue with it?
I always have a problem.
You always have an issue.
Right, so I was trying to understand what people were asking for and
I'm
what.
not sure about the relief enough. In his case with that roof there, will relieve enough pyramid.
I just wanted to hear what you had to say.
Well, I just wanted to know what the ceiling heights were so I could factor in
Is
whether
there
the
room to
reasonableness
mitigate?
or whether there was room to
Mhm.
give or what. So that was.
Okay,
Could take a foot off the width.
What's that?
Could take a foot off the width of that, and that would take off a little bit. Because it's
foot off.
15 feet. So they really can,
Well,
they cut it back a little bit.
I personally didn't have a great
I
deal
mean,
of
either. I'm just-
concern
we
for
just-
1,200 cubic feet.
I don't know. I neither. Just giving
I-
Kevin
you
an
know-
answer over here.
Yeah.
What'd you say?
So the thing that struck me driving around, I drove around a few times
Yeah,
too because it was an interesting arrangement.
it is,
And I'm
yeah.
like, just when you think you see unusual things, you see one more. So a lot of the houses are 1,200 square foot ranches, pretty straightforward. So this is a bit more massive, right? And then the pyramid relief, I can't comment on the rest of the design, it's not our business, right? So it's only on the pyramid relief then. So, you know, as I ask everybody, if there's a way to give a little more on that, I heard everything you said, if it was rationally presented, that would make me feel better.
I'm happy to talk to you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
So there were neighbors, I was told that there were neighbors that had concerns. I don't know if anyone is online.
So many people do.
They were on Zoom last time. Wasn't it last time?
I thought it was about the road issue. It was like which side of the street is the common side that everybody accesses
yeah.
versus the screened back, you know?
So I guess, I suppose with that done, you know,
With eliminating
I
that.
guess that there might be a little walkway to Water's Edge, but the car access will come off of Knoll.
Right. Right. Okay, is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this application?
There's someone on Zoom, I'll put them on there.
Okay, thank you.
I'm having too much fun.
Helen.
No, it's not her. Somebody else.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes. Are
Yes.
you an attorney? Are you?
I'm not.
Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Chitra Paurana. I'm at 36 Waters Edge Road in Southampton.
Did you get that?
36 Waters Edge.
36.
Okay. Okay, please tell us your comments.
So I'm the immediate neighbor of the property in discussion, and one of my main concerns is the second floor. And from what I understand from the plans I received, that the second floor is a bit high, and I'm concerned on my privacy and light and air as well. So when I look at the pyramid encroachment page, it seems like the chimney, as well as a portion of the second floor, is outside the pyramid encroachment on the left side. That's one of my concerns. And the other concern I also have is the parking that is requested.
What?
So
Parking.
it seems that they're requesting a parking on the front and the back,
So
because this part of the property has access from Noel Road as well as Waters Edge Road. There's a couple of houses in that strip of land that have access to both sides. However, all of them have parking only on one side. So this would be
Can I just
a big
interrupt you?
concern.
I think the parking on the Water's Edge side has been resolved. It's not going to exist.
Okay.
It's gonna be removed.
It's gonna be removed. So there'll just be
Okay, great.
parking on the Knoll Road side.
Okay.
And also
Okay, so
another
that
thing to
resolves
look,
that concern.
ma'am, another thing to look at in the plans is that the side of the house that is requiring the most pyramid relief, where the chimney is, has only one window all the way to one side. There are no windows in the upstairs, and there is an outdoor deck. What part of your, you said you're concerned about privacy. What privacy concern do you have with regard to that side, given the fact that there's no windows? Or just one window?
Yeah, so the one window would be the privacy, and then, the light and air would be the other concern. Because it's quite high from what the original structure was. It was like somebody said, ranch style houses.
Right,
in that
understood,
line.
but they're not seeking height relief, so that's not within our purview right now.
Is the
Their
issue-
the height of the
25.
building conforms to the zoning code, so they're not seeking relief for that.
Is the issue the second floor entirely?
Sounds like it.
Not entirely, because the new houses that are coming up do have second floors, but this seems very close to our property line. And I understand that the base of the property and the wooden deck and all of that is part of the original structure, but because this is going higher than the original structure, which is the second floor, and there's a relief being taken for the pyramid encroachment, and the chimney seems quite high as well and quite large on that entire side. So the fact that it's so close to our property line is concerning to us as neighbors.
Okay, they're not seeking variance relief for setbacks on your side of the property.
Well, it's a pre-existing non-conforming
Yes,
setback.
right, so they're not seeking additional relief for that, so.
No, but that's why she's saying there's so much pyramid on that side, because it's 16 and a half feet
Yeah.
away from the property line.
Yeah, if you look at the drawing on, I'm not an architect, so I'm just sort of understanding from what I
Pitch the
see.
roof we need, it should still have the privacy concern.
The pyramid encroachment on page 10 is,
That's not.
including the chimney, seems quite a bit
What?
coming out towards the left side of the house.
What deck?
How much vegetation is on that north side of the property?
These are pretty cleared lots. There are trees I'm orienting it. There are trees to the north. If vegetation is a concern, we can certainly talk about a landscape component to this.
Yeah, I think we need to do that.
Sure.
Well, in addition to the fact that you're going to ask the applicant about, whether there's any possibility for a reduction in the pyramid relief requested, based on what Mr. McDonald said, whether you come back with it or not, but at least you're going to raise it with the applicant. They're not asking for a variance relief on setbacks, so we really can't deal with that at all.
Or height.
And, but we can do landscaping and, and you're gonna ask the applicant whether he's,
I'm sure he'll be fine with it, but I will talk to him.
okay. Okay, thank you very much. Is there anybody else that wishes to be heard?
Yes, there's someone on there right now. I'm gonna put him on.
Okay.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Are you an
Hey,
attorney? Are you an
yes.
attorney?
I am not.
Okay, let me swear you in. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name and address.
Marcus Tohanchi, 35 Waters Edge Road, Southampton, 11968. I'm the neighbor across the street. And I'm going to be very quick. I think you touched on all the points. I would just encourage for Mr. Bedenkata to go back to the applicant to see if the second floor height can be reduced from the 9 feet to feet, given that all the rooms fairly small. It's not an upside down house. These are all bedrooms. And there's some height at the center of the building where the roof basically tilts up. So I think in terms of the concern the neighbor had with regards to the perimeter law and air and light, I think just moving it slightly down, I think would be fantastic. And I'm sure everybody in the neighborhood will support that application then, because it is fairly modest. It's just the perimeter law, I think that's a concern.
What was the number that you said it should be you would like to see it reduced to because you cut out?
Oh, if it was reduced to 8 feet, I think that would be tremendous, and then I think it would be absolutely fine. And as one of your board members stated earlier, if everybody would only ask for 270 cubic feet of relief, we would be all very happy. So a slight reduction, I think, in the height of the second floor would make, I'm sure, everybody very happy.
All right, well, it's going to be asked, and we'll see what the result is.
Right.
Okay, is there anybody else who wishes to be heard? Go ahead, did you want to say something else?
Nope, that's it. Thank
you very much,
Okay,
sir.
thank you for your comments. Okay, John, this is yours. So what do we have to do here? We have to correct the survey.
Correct the survey, add the, remove the front parking and put the distance to the Knoll Road porch.
Yes. And change proposed roof to carport. Make sure
Proposed
that's
roof
identified as
to
carport roof.
proposed carport.
Okay.
And
What about 8 feet for the
the
second?
proposed,
Oh, we'll
what's
get to
marked as
that.
proposed roof should be marked as proposed carport.
Right. Okay, and then, and you will go back to the applicant in terms of the ceiling heights.
Yeah, and what kind of buffering?
What?
Yes,
And you want a landscape plan, proposed buffering? You'd like that too?
yes, yeah. On both Knoll Road and at least the north side of the property, Carl.
Okay, so.
Okay. All right. How much time do you need for this?
Are we holding open?
Well, wait, let's just see what he.
Are we holding it open?
I
My answer is always no, but it's up to you guys.
When are we going to adjourn this case?
You would like to adjourn this case?
I'd like to see all the changes that Mr. Benincasa is going to implement.
I actually agree. I
Okay.
mean, there's a fair amount on the survey we want to take a look at. You've got to come back with, some landscape plan, all of that can't necessarily be done so easily.
That's a lot. I don't know that I'll be able to do that
By 12.
by Tuesday, so. I
1,
guess-
2?
I guess it's
2.
this, I'm gonna have a 2-day-old, but all right, 1-2.
Oh, no, you want to do the 16th?
I'll have a 16-day-old. Doesn't matter.
Oh, wait, that's 15, we
Yeah.
have 15.
The end of December.
Oh.
So I might zoom in if that's okay.
You want the 16th then?
Of
No,
January?
the 15, we have 15 on the 16th. so-
No, I'll do January 2nd. We'll do it.
Okay, you want to do January 2nd, okay. All right, so John, go ahead, this is yours.
So we're holding open to 1/16?
1-2.
1/2?
Yeah.
Second.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Ms. Kane. Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
I was.
It was.
Give me 1 second. Bring it down.
Yeah. You didn't know?
No,
First
very
one.
exciting.
It's my first kid.
And where is she?
Where's what? Stony Brook.
Yes, go ahead.
When he gets them, can you just ask, Peter if, what's her name, Agina is on Zoom? She's the next case, but she's not here, but he's case number 12. So if she's not on Zoom, I'm gonna tell you just call his case, he's already there.
I'm 12. There's one between me.
Number 10, Marafi.
10.
She's on Zoom,
I don't
maybe.
know, that's what I'm saying,
Okay.
so she's on before you call her.
Peter, is it?
I think it
Can you tell us if
is.
Gina for the next case is on Zoom?
Peter?
I don't see Gina.
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 Oh, yeah, sorry.
I'm sorry. Okay, number 10 on the agenda. Application of Matthew and Tracy Marafi, 79 Inlet Road West, Shinnecock Hills, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-176-1-6.
Where's my?
Gina Rigdon, DKR Shores, here to represent.
Hold on 1 second, please. What is she doing? Which one are we doing?
Number
Marafi,
10.
number 10.
It's from prior meetings.
Okay. Never mind. Hold on 1 second, please. I'm sorry. I have to organize my papers. Okay, so you were an attorney, correct?
No.
Oh, okay. Let me swear you in then. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Please state your name and address.
Gina Rigdon, DKR Shores, 235 Trout Brook Lane in Aquabog.
Okay. All right, Gina, tell us where we're at on this application.
Well, I was hoping the owner would be able to come on, but he had a family matter, and the architect has not produced any recent changes that the owner's been happy with. So unfortunately, I do not have any information, so I'm going to have to hold it over.
Okay. All right, so you want to adjourn?
Okay.
She wants to
Yeah,
adjourn.
maybe January.
We have available
January 2nd.
That works.
January 2nd.
Check for that.
You'll take that?
Yes.
Okay, I move to hold this application open to January 2nd.
Second.
Mr. Leonard?
Thank you so
Aye.
much.
Thank
Mr.
you.
Macedonio?
Have a great
Aye.
Thanksgiving.
Ms.
You
Kane?
too.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess? Chair votes aye. Okay.
Okay.
Is this-
Who?
James Hume.
He's gonna wait till the end.
Okay. Do you want me to call him, or do you want me to wait to the end?
Wait till the end.
Wait till the
Jim,
end.
we're gonna come back to you, but we also need your affidavit of posting, so somehow get that to Candace while we, please email it to Candace while we listen to Carl's application.
Okay, number 12 on the agenda, application of J.G. Farrell 3
This is the one.
Real Estate
This is-
LLC, 8 Middle Pond Lane, Shinnecock Hills, Suffolk County Tax Map number 900-272-2-10.
All right, Carl, please state your name and
Carl
address.
Benacasa, 860 Montauk Highway, Watermill, New York. For the applicant, we are withdrawing our request for the pergola.
Dun, dun,
For
dun.
both of them? It's advertised for 2.
Yes, both pergolas.
Okay.
as was already amended in the original application, the parking area in the front has been reduced to a half its size, and now that's a sports court. That's the relief we're asking for. For that,
We cut that blacktop part down.
in
Yeah,
half,
that's right.
yeah.
Mhm.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has. I'm like,
So the pergola, the lighting of the pergola, that's dealt with. The pergola height is dealt with. That's all been removed. The amount of asphalt on the northern end of the property, that has been reduced to half of what it was. The cubic feet, the pyramid relief for the pergola, that is gone. A relief of 3.8 feet to construct a rooftop pergola for height, gone. The relief to allow accessory off-street parking within the required front yard along Middle Pond Lane, I'll remind the board that Arthur Gerhauser said that the chief building inspector informed him that the parking area off of Little Neck does not require relief. So to the extent that relief is still part of the record, we would be withdrawing that as well.
okay.
And that's
And we
it.
had also discussed, are we still removing the block apron and curb cut, leaving the gate with regard to the
We had
asphalt sports court?
That has not been removed from the application. We had discussed that was going to stay to provide access for lawn maintenance to the rear.
Right, that
Okay.
gate was gonna stay.
Okay.
Well, you did a good job, Carl. And the applicant did a good job
It's
on
easy when you
this.
get rid of all the relief you're asking for.
True.
Make our job easier. All right, so right now, what are you asking for?
We would ask to close the public hearing.
But what are you asking for in relief?
Oh, we are asking for
The sports court?
for the sports court, yes. At the, as the size, do you have the most recent submission survey with the sports court? You
We
should
have a
that.
survey from a while ago.
Just want to make sure you
Did
have.
you send us something like in the last couple of weeks?
No.
No, it looks like it's from
This was
June.
last
No,
adjourned.
the last one
June.
we have
It should be
was dated
June.
December, no.
I have
What's the
December
date? I never know the
18.
dates on these. December 18,
Oh, wait,
2022.
You should have a June survey.
I have a revised 6/18/2024.
That's the survey.
Okay, it says December, but on the
Oh, I see,
left
we
corner,
said on the bottom left.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, with the asphalt court
Cut in half. Yep. So that's the relief we're asking for that asphalt court. And the
Okay.
gates associated with it, and that is it.
That's it.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Well done.
This was mine.
That driveway with that access.
So we're
Sorry?
going to,
Access is remaining open on that side.
That driveway by the court will remain open, yeah.
yeah,
But
okay.
there'll be gates there.
All right, so we're holding this open for written comments until December 6th with a decision on December 19th.
Second.
Third.
Mr. Leonard?
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia?
Aye.
Ms. Kane?
Aye.
Mr. Redden?
Aye.
Mr. McDonald?
Aye.
Ms. Burgess?
Aye.
Chair votes aye.
Okay, that's for me.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can't you get the
And
posting?
Thanksgiving.
now, I second call this.
Thank you, and good luck with
Yeah,
everything,
good luck.
Carl.
I'll see you before.
All right, good.
Okay, going back to number 5 on the agenda. Application of Revolutionary Road Properties LLC, second call.
Yes, we have.
Okay,
Good evening.
hold on, Jen, hold on. Are you gonna, you gotta read it.
The whole thing again?
Yeah.
I read it already. Doesn't matter. Okay. Number 5 on the agenda, application of Revolutionary Road Properties LLC, 18 Seagate Avenue, West Hampton, Suffolk County Tax Map Number 900-354-4-51. Applicant requests relief from the following provisions of the Town Code for an existing third story. Section 330-6, General Regulations that references Section 330-11, Residence Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations for a 490-foot, 5-square-foot third story constructed without benefit of a building permit on a non-conforming lot and any other relief necessary.
The board has jurisdiction. That was so long.
Okay,
What?
Mr. Hume,
Said that
would
was
you
so
please
long.
state your name and address?
Sure. For the applicant, James N. Hume, Hulme, from Kelly and Hume PC, 323 Mill Road, West Hampton Beach. Good evening.
Okay, tell us about your application.
Okay, just real briefly, my client purchased this property in September of 2022, assuming that he had COs for everything that existed in the house. But much to his surprise, he discovered that there was a converted basement and a converted attic undertaken by the prior owner after the CO was issued for the home. The converted basement has been dealt with. He was able to get a building permit for that conversion and has been moving forward with that. However, the building department determined that this attic space which was conditioned space for storage as well as an office rec area, was a third story and therefore required relief from the zoning board to allow that to remain. As this was installed apparently within the attic space that existed, and the exterior of the house didn't change, the roof line didn't change, there's really no impact or little impact on the neighborhood. It's not an accessory apartment or anything like that. And although my client should have been aware of what he was getting into, whoever was representing him, he nonetheless is kind of the victim here, believing that he was buying something that was fully legalized, and which turned out not to be. So that's the nature of the case.
Okay, John, this is yours. Do you want to start us off?
Am I correct that this house was built in 2020?
Correct.
Okay. And in that space, there's no bathroom or plumbing?
No.
Okay, no bedrooms?
No.
Okay. It's sheetrocked, it's finished, correct?
Yes, yeah, it is conditioned space and it is finished, but none of those other features are there.
With beds in it. I'm going to be honest with you, I'm a no on this application as it stands. We have very clearly given relief for this kind of an application where it has the attic space has been finished for many, many years, some of them going back to the 70s. I believe that granting this application would open a Pandora's box. I think this application, of any application that we've seen with regard to finished third stories, is the application to deny. That's my opinion. So I would not be willing to be a yes on this.
You know,
as I indicated, my client did not do any of this. He purchased it in this condition. So I guess unless there's a concern that buyers and sellers will work with each other to get something converted just prior to sale, so that they could come to this board and get this relief, I'm not sure that that's
That is exactly the concern. That is exactly the concern. It's the precedent that we would be setting in this situation. This is not, we've had, the applications that we've had where we have granted such relief, these finished spaces have been in existence for 20, 30, 40 years. This was finished sometime between 2020 and September of 2022. If we were to grant this application, we would be giving license to every single person similarly situated to come into our chamber and to request the exact same relief, which I am not willing to do.
Well, Jim,
Well, I mean, if they're similarly situated, the situation is somebody else did this. 2 years later, my client came along and bought the house in an arm's length transaction. And, you know, so I don't think there's any indication that the buyer and the seller here were in league to do this.
Did your client get a title report?
I didn't.
You would
represent him
assume,
when he
correct?
bought, but I
And doesn't the
imagine that he
title
did.
report contain certificates of occupancy? And isn't it the buyer's lawyer's obligation to, if you don't get the title search, if you don't get C of O's in the title search, that you go and foil these documents and find out what is actually approved on these homes? We're not going to sit here as a board and correct errors of the buyer and the buyer's attorney. And if the buyer's attorney made a mistake or failed to do what they were supposed to do, then the applicant's issue is with their attorney, not with this board.
I don't think he has an issue with the board here. We're just asking for some relief under the conditions that we acquired this property as already converted.
Right.
No
it doesn't
indication that we
float.
were in league with anybody, why it should make any difference whether this was 2 years or 10 years or 20 years.
Well, Jim,
It's not clear to me.
the CO that's in the file, the CO that's in the file is dated September 14th, 2022.
Yeah, that's another issue. I was looking at that and wondering,
Yeah.
if the house was built in 2020, where's the C of O from 2020? They probably had the open building permit, and then they closed it in order to sell the home.
And then somewhere between
2020 and
here we are.
2022, or even now.
Yeah.
And we have listing pictures with beds.
Nah.
In the upstairs.
Yeah, I'm fully with John on this. Fully with
I haven't
John.
seen any of that. If that could be shared with me, I'm happy to put this over
It's on
and
Zillow.
explain it all.
It's on Zillow.
It's on Zillow right now.
It's on Zillow.
We have it pulled
Jim,
up
it has
here.
it has the photos of 3 beds upstairs in the beautifully finished attic space, but there's 3 beds
Okay.
up there.
Well, I'll have to look into that.
We have we had a recent case where there was a question as to whether it was a 3rd story, and they modified the plan so that it was an open mezzanine.
Yeah.
And it wasn't confined to rooms with, closets. It was an open. Do you remember that? It was recent.
Right,
It
right,
was
but that was a
totally
different
open
floor plan.
mezzanine. It was a totally different case. But this is something different, and I think that you're hearing that there's not a lot of
We are opening up.
there's not a lot of
of
sympathy
worms.
to
Every
this
builder can do this.
particular
Sure.
application. And look, I understand, that this guy maybe wasn't in collusion to do something, but John's point is well taken.
No, but the building.
We really have to hold the line on this.
All right, well, I would ask then that if we could adjourn this so that I can investigate some of these issues, and
Okay.
perhaps I can come up with a reasonable explanation.
Okay, that's fair. If you
relative
want
to
an
same.
adjournment, John wants an
Sure.
adjournment. If you may come up with another explanation, it doesn't necessarily change the way we feel about 3rd story. So
Understood.
Exactly. And also, given the fact, the questions that I asked earlier about whether there's plumbing, what is in there, I don't see that turning this attic space back to the studs is going to cost this applicant a great deal of money. So to come and tell me that it's going to cost $300,000 to remove sheetrock, would be absurd.
Yeah.
I don't see the burden to the applicant to returning the attic space to what it was supposed to be, which is attic space.
Okay, understood.
But we can hold it open. How long do you need?
Maybe the middle of January? The second
January
meeting of
16th?
no, not that
February.
date. It's too much. Let's do
Oh, is
February.
that too many?
2/6.
Let's
Oh,
do
yeah, 2/6?
Yeah.
2/6 is fine, thank you.
Okay, I move to hold
Wait,
this
see
application.
if anybody's here.
Oh, sorry.
Is there
sorry,
anyone
sorry.
in the audience who wishes to be heard? Is there anybody on Zoom who wishes to be heard on this application of 18 Seagate Avenue?
No one was in.
Okay, John, go ahead.
I move to hold this application open to February 6th.
Second.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess. Aye. Chair votes aye. Okay. So
Thanks,
this is
Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks,
adjourned to-
Thank you very much for your attention. Talk soon. Bye-bye. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you,
You
you
too.
too. Okay. All right, we have 2 decisions. Julie, you want to do your decision first?
Yes. Robert Curaz, Suffolk County Town Map 900-148-4-42. This application is for property located at 34 Fern Avenue, Flanders. Applicant requests a variance for a pyramid encroachment to legalize a dormer addition and for a proposed 2nd-story addition to an existing dwelling. While this board does not condone construction done without permits, it does find that with screening, the application passes the standards set forth in New York State town law and the town code. Therefore, the board grants relief from the Town Code Section 330-84D Pyramid Law for the following. Little I, a sky plane encroachment of 217.8 cubic feet for a proposed one-story addition, and little I, a sky plane encroachment in the amount of 1,555.09 cubic feet to maintain a second-story addition, as shown on the survey prepared by Jason D. Leadingham, LS, dated May 8, 2024, and the plans and elevations prepared by Aldo Bravo, PE, dated October 15, 2024. Grant of the foregoing is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for the final approval of the subject premises, including the applicant and all successors in title, including installing and maintaining vegetative screening of the proposed addition on the west side of the premises.
Second.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
Aye.
Ms. Burgess.
No.
Okay. All right, I have a decision in the matter of Evan and Jennifer Jaffe, Suffolk County Tax Map 900-5-2-50. This application is for property located at 16 Oak Road, Noyak. Applicants request relief to legalize the expansion of an existing deck as well as for a proposed second-story addition on an undersized lot in Pine Neck. Applicants submitted an analysis that the proposal is consistent with the character of the neighborhood and that the proposed addition is modest, in the most functional location, and minimizes the impact on adjacent properties. While this board does not condone construction done without permits to the deck, it does find that the applicant passes the standards set forth in New York State Town Law and Town Code. Therefore, this board grants relief from the following provisions of Town Code. 1, to legalize the expansion of an existing deck without benefit of a building permit on a non-conforming lot. I, Town Code Section 330-11, Resident Districts Table of Dimensional Regulations, for an accessory side yard setback of 2.2 feet, where a minimum of 8 feet is required from the south property line. And 2I, Town Code Section 330-76D, placement of accessory buildings, structures, and uses in all districts, and Town Code Section 330-83C, yards, to allow a portion of the deck to remain within the required minimum and total required side yard for the principal building. 2, for a proposed second-story addition to the existing dwelling. Town Code Section 330-84D Pyramid Law, for a total pyramid encroachment of 2,118 cubic feet, 373 cubic feet existing on the south side, and 188 cubic feet existing on the north side, and 3 cubic feet proposed on the north side, and 1,554 cubic feet proposed on the south side. And 3, Town Code Section 330-11, Resident District Table of Dimensional Regulations, for a total lot coverage of 21%, where a maximum of 20% is allowed. As shown on the survey prepared by James D. Leadingham, LS, of Scalise Land Surveying, last updated May 10th, 2024, and the plans prepared by David H. Sherwood, RA, dated May 6, 2024. Grant of the foregoing is subject to such other conditions and permits as applicant has already acquired or may otherwise have to acquire for final approval of subject premises.
Second.
Mr. Macedonia.
Aye.
Ms. Kane.
Aye.
Mr. Leonard.
Aye.
Mr. Redmond.
Aye.
Mr. McDonald.
No.
Ms. Burgess.
No.
Okay. Chair votes aye. Okay.
Motion to close?
Motion to close. Is there a
Second.
second? All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.
Another one of the